Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio and a few more artist trading cards. Today I have number 24 and the surface was Yupo. And thankfully I had some samples of Yupo. That stuff's kind of expensive. But I have a little sample pack, and I'm not really skilled with the whole alcohol ink thing, but I figured since it was Yupo I would try it. And I have some alcohol inks that I have gathered on clearance. And so I'm going to try doing this. And I've seen this technique. Well, the sponge is a little different, but I've seen this technique done where you put the color on the sponge and then daub it on. I think I got a little too much yellow. It was too yellow for my taste. I grab another color. Oh, I'm going to do a little alcohol on there to see if I can get some blooms going. But it's pretty light, and there's not a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, I'm dabbing it with the sponge again just to see what will happen. Yeah, like I said, not in my wheelhouse. We'll put some more alcohol on there. You know, when I watch people do it, they put tons of alcohol ink, and I don't have very much on there. So that might be part of my problem. So I put some of this on there. I think it was called butterscotch. I think I was hoping it was like a darker yellow color. Just trying to move it around. I do eventually end up with something I like. But that's because I add blue, I think. Yeah, here we go. I'm just using a stick to move it around a little bit. And then this is blending solution. And I think I go in and hit it with the sponge. Get a sort of diagonal vibe going, and I'm stopping there. This card does end up being really super simple. So once that's dry, I went and looked, and I have these little things called scrap monsters. They're like when you take scraps of paper and collage it and then cut out shapes and turn them into little characters. So I'm putting a little bit of book page behind, and then I'm going to glue on my little scrap monster. I can't remember the original person that did these scrap monsters, but I think they're really cute. And his colors kind of went with the alcohol ink background. And then I just add the word imagine, and that is number 24. There it is, close up. Okay, so number 25, the surface was cork, but I didn't have any cork, just like a sheet of cork. But I have these letters that are cork, and you know, I've used probably all of the E's. So when you run out of E's, you kind of kind of don't have a lot of vowels left. I don't think I have any A's either. So I just have these random cork letters that figured that could be my surface. So they are sticky, but I'm also adding glue just to make sure they stay, are permanent. And I'm just gonna stick them all down and make them my background, my surface. This does take a bit. Maybe I'll speed it up a little bit. I should say speed it up a little bit more because it is already sped up. Just trying to find a letter or something that would fit in that spot. Go for the P. So yeah, there's no meaning behind the letters that I use. They were totally at random or whatever would fit in the space. And then I have just little bits. There were a lot of brackets and commas and shapes like that that I just stuffed in the center section. And then once I did that and it was dry, I looked at it and I'm like, well, what do you do with something like this? Like, what do you do? So I pulled out my gesso, got my knife out, and just scraped it across. Just like that. And left it. So, there we go. Yeah. So, there is my background. And I just decided to do some sort of cluster. People call these clusters when you layer things. So I'm pulling out my little scrap bin, and I end up taking that one and a bit of book text. And just gluing it on. Trying to leave a little bit of that white showing since I put it on there. Might as well have it show. A little bit of a diagonal going on. So I have a jar full of these silk flower bits. Just a teeny jar, but I'm like, I should use them. I've had them for a long time. Let's use them up. So I don't think the ones I use even made a dent in my stash, but so this one gets to be a bit, I don't know, floral. I don't use flowers, silk flowers in my stuff very often. I was going to say I don't do flowers, but I love flowers. I do flowers. I draw them. I paint them. I doodle them. I scrap them. Just not the silk ones. In fact, I did 2 little pictures today that had flowers in them. One of them might end up on Instagram. So I'm just poking a hole and putting a push pin, or what are those things? A brad? Through them. And I'm putting a circle punch of white paper behind them. Because they're so translucent, you would lose them, I think. So that's why I did that. Probably is set, and I'm probably supposed to layer that over, I don't know, the white or something, but I just use them however I want. So I decided to put a little book text down to kind of help those flowers show up a little bit. So I'm going to ink the edges on that, I think. Going for shabby chic, country shabby? just Victorian shabby? I don't even know if it's style, it just is. So how's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a good day today. I have the day off, which I always enjoy. Not having to go to work. I glued those down and then decided I wanted that silk above, so I'm like fiddling there. Get it where I wanted it. I'd pulled out this little tag and I was gonna ink it up, and I grabbed, I don't know which color brown, but I decided to, after I put it on here, you'll see it's way too orange. Just way too orange. So after I do that, I flip it over and I do the walnut. I like the walnut better. Spritz it a little, get stuff to bleed around. I want that shabby vintage look, right? So I make the mistake, I do dry this off, but I make the mistake of not making sure it's thoroughly dry. It was just slightly damp, like barely any moisture in it. Yeah, deciding where it's gonna go. And then I want to put a word on it, so I do the word rubbing, and the word I pick is always. But like I said, I made the mistake, it is not dry enough. So when I rub it, it doesn't stick. Yeah, it's not gonna stick. So then I go and I dry it thoroughly dry, like crispy, crunchy dry. And it's still not gonna stick. It's done. I killed it. So the way to cure this is just to take some matte medium and glue it down with the matte medium. And I just use my finger. Why get a brush dirty for that? Yeah, glued down, plastic and all. And then I'm just going to tuck that in there like that. See, it looks like a little bouquet with a package. Like a package. So I also got some of that ink out, and I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit just to darken the edges. It doesn't do a whole lot, just a little bit. Once it's dry, you almost can't tell. There we go, that was ATC number 25. Okay, so number 26, the surface was burlap. Well, I didn't have any burlap, but I did have this pack. I don't know where it came from. Looks like it was like a coordinated set. I have no idea. But it's just burlap. I think that's burlap. Wouldn't that be burlap? Ribbon. And so I decided to go with the one with the polka dots on there. I was trying to decide which one looked better. And I liked the white. It kept it light and bright, and the darker colors dulled it down a little bit, because it is a loose weave, so you can get a sense of the light behind it. So I'm just trimming it down to size. I'm going to fray the edges a little bit. And I was lucky it was wide enough to fit my card. So I'm gonna take this and paint just lightly around the edges. And I thought it was a close enough match to the ribbon. There we go. I'm gonna just stick that on with some glue. Using my glitter glue. Gotta order some more of that. It's running out. Wonder if Elmer's would work inside the container, or if it'd be too thick. I know Aleene's tacky wouldn't work. It gets too thick on me. Okay, so now I gotta decide what to do. So I just go digging through my ephemera bits, and I pull out this faux postage stamp, not card. Can't speak today apparently. And I have these little craft colored butterflies I think are cute. And a couple of buttons that match both the polka dots and the postage stamp. Try to figure out what order I want them in. That would have been okay, but I keep looking. Finally decide I want all three butterflies. Polka dot one, the scripty one, and a plain one. Set the postage stamp down until it's glued. Still wanting to put that big button on, but I don't ever end up using that big button. Kind of really have to hold things in place to get it to stick to that burlap. The buttons end up on there eventually, but it took a while to figure out where I should put them. So the word I use on here is forever, and I put it on some cardstock so it would show up. I don't think I could rub it onto that burlap, so I'm just going to do it like that. I hope you've enjoyed these. I do have one more video coming with the ATCs, and then that'll be the end of my ATCs for this year. Well, yeah, I know it's, you know, the end of July, beginning of August, but the end of my ATCs for June. Yeah, I know. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up or a comment. Thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.